Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Your host today is me, Callum, and today I am bringing you Almagesta deck profile. So this is one of the new ride lines for set 9, and to be honest, one of my favourites along with Bruce, but that's technically not a new ride line. Anywho, out of the 3 new red lines announced, Almagesta takes the cake for me. So I have made a proxy deck and I am here to share it with you guys today. Bear in mind, there are some cards in here which I do plan to change. They're just not revealed the cards yet. It is the grade 2 Biakarin and the grade 1 Arum, which was shown in episode 2 with Sophie versus Rika. So fingers crossed I'll get them soon, because we will be doing a Almagesta Astroea versus the Vietnam's Bruce fight. When we get a chance, Jason's going to come over and we're going to do a video for that. But I do hope you enjoy the video, and let's get into it. So for the ride line, grade 0, Almagesta Pipis Mochi, standard grade 0 format for D. If you go second, you're a card. Believe it or not, bear in mind that what Dark State is, Pipis Mochi, even though that art shows she looks like a succubus, isn't. She's actually human. So the next in line is the grade 1 Schwartz equals Sparta, but for the purpose of majority people, some people might just say Schwartz Sparta, or just say Schwartz or Sparta. It's personal preference. So her skill is Order. When this unit is read upon by Almagesta, Turin equals Dino. Or I'll just say Turin Dino. Soul Charge 2. If you Soul Charge a critical trigger, you can draw 1 card. And then her other skill is active is an act skill on the rear guard once per turn. Yes, if your opponent is grade 3 or greater, cost bind 1 trigger, any trigger unit. Bear in mind, it does say bind 1 trigger unit from your soul and give it 10k power, meaning it's an 18k attacker or an 18k booster. I tend to have it as a booster just to hit numbers, but it's what it is. Next is the grade 2 Almagesta Turin Dino. Her skill: when this unit is read upon by a unit with Astroea in its card name, choose 1 Almagesta Schwartz Sparta from his soul, call that unit plus Turin Dino to a rearguard circle, which means you can basically just call from the soul and start building the board. And her secondary skill is act on rearguard circle. If you have a Vanguard with Almagesta in its card name, Counterblast 1, choose 2 units, not up to, you have to choose 2 trigger units from your drop, put them into your soul, and she gets 5k power to the end of turn. Which is nice. With this build and how this deck plays, you will make sure you have 2 triggers, or at least triggers built up in your drop zone ready for skills. And then for the grade 3 in the ride line is none other than the new unit, Almagesta Astroea Unica. Her skills from the top as followed. Vanguard Circle. When a trigger unit was soul blasted for the cost of this card's ability, you choose up to 1 unit and give it 5k power to the end of turn. Now, for those who have been playing V Premium, or, basically not V Premium, sorry, Premium. For those who've played Dark Irregulars or know of the Stride unit Blader Mouse, that basically does Counterblast, flip a copy, return all grade 0s from your soul to rear, and you can choose 2 units and give them 5k power. Like that skill, you can actually either distribute 5k to 3 units if you Soul Blasted 3 triggers, bear in mind. Or you can stack 15k on 1 unit for bigger numbers. So depending on how your board is and what setup you have, what I tend to normally do is when I use a skill, I tend to have a full front row. So I just tend to say, okay, 5k to all my front row units. Or if I only have 1 rear guard, what I would do is if I Soul Blasted 3, I would make Unica 18 and then give 10k to a rear guard. So for example, me like playing Bruce, the new Bruce, and if you have Stephanie behind it, making it 18k. By giving the 5k on Unica, she can hit without a boost. But if your rear guards don't have the number capacity to hit all the other rear guards, by giving it 10k, you can then make it so that it can attack. So its other skill is Auto Vanguard. When this unit attacks, cost Soul Blast 3 cards from your soul. Then, for every crit trigger you Soul Blast with a cost, you bind and gain the following effects. 1 or more, you can choose an opponent's rear guard and retire it. 2 or more, this unit gets +1 critical. 3 or more, it gets triple drive. So what that means is, if you have Soul Charge 3 critical triggers by the time you got to Astroea, you attack, you Soul Blast all 3 crits, you bind all 3 crits. That means, unless your opponent has a PG in hand, which more than likely they will, you will be swinging at, say, 21, depending on who you're boosting with, but in my case, there's regular 8Ks. 21, retire something with a crit, and you have triple drive, which means you're building hand, you're adding pressure, and making your opponent decide what to do. Right? So, and that stays in place. So to activate this effect constantly, you have to keep Soul Blasting 3 cards to do the skill, which can work if you have cards that can. So, for a good example, Pandemonium Tactics, Soul Charge 4, okay, you got your soul built. By the time you've gone into your grade 3 and your right deck, you have enough costs to do the skill straight off the bat. And then with the support units that Astroea has, some of them have been released for other decks that have included in this. You want to mainly manipulate the drop to your soul as much as possible. Really, because this deck doesn't need much of a Soul Charge from deck mechanic, because it's mainly, all the units are mainly focusing on your drop zone. So that's the ride. For the grade 3s, I am only running the Persona rides of Unica. They had shown another support unit for Armagesta, but its skill is basically the same as the grade 2 Turin, and I didn't really see a point to it, considering the other supports that there are going to be coming out and are out that can work for this deck. So for grade 2s, I'm running 4 of the support card, Clit's Peak Griffin, which was shown in the anime. So what this card does is, when this unit is placed on rear guard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Armagesta in its card name, you choose 2 triggers from your drop, put them into the soul. So you can put this down before your grade 3 and start accumulating your soul early, ready to set up for Armagesta, for Astroea. Its secondary skill is continuous rear guard circle and guardian circle. If you have 1 critical trigger in your bind zone, this unit gets 5k power plus 5k shield, and it is active on your opponent's turn as well, meaning this is a 15k unit, 10k interceptor, and 10k shield throughout the game. Which means if you want to retire this, you gotta make sure you can hit this or retire it by skills. So I tend to always keep, when I do my top 5 to start the game, I always try and make sure I get at least 1 or 2 of these in, so I can start early if I have to. But 4 copies is a must for this deck. Next, at the moment, I'm running 1 Demonic Stone Dragon, pardon me, Stone Dragon, Metal Vara, which would be seen in Dredgel. So, we've only been able to get 1 copy at the minute. I will eventually make this a full playset, or at least 3 copies. Its skill is when this unit is placed on rear. Counterblast 1. Choose a card from your drop and put it into your soul. Then, if you have 4 or more cards with different grades in its soul, this unit gets plus 10. Which, by the time you have Persona added and have this, you can prop it off to make it a 30k beater. Along with Astroea's skill, you can make this either 35, 40, 45. It depends how you want to play it. But again, it's manipulating your drop and not your deck. So that is why I see the opportunity to run this as a minimum of 3. You could run 2, but it's personal preference. I think 3 to a full playset. Next, I am running 2 Hypno Grasper, which will be placed by Metal Vara when I get copies. Its skill is back row rearguard circle. During a turn, if you have 6 or more cards in your soul, this unit gets boost. If you have 12 or more, it gets 10k, being a 20k booster. Then its skill says, when this unit boosts, your soul drops to 5, this can still boost for that turn. So it's there, but it will be replaced by Metal Vara. Next, I'm running 3 copies of Steady Spiky. So its skill is when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, counterblast 1 and put a grade 0 from your hand into your soul. Then choose a grade 1 from your soul and add it to your hand. So typically with this, I do in terms of a grade 1 choice, PG. Always make PG your first priority choice, unless there's a combo card in there. Like it depends how you want, but personally, PG. Always get the PG, because it depends when you go against. Well, to be honest, it depends what you're going against, but during my time, it has to be a PG. Moving on, grade 1s at the moment, running 2 Evil Eye of Prohibition. My pronunciation is shocking. Quenlin. So by now everyone will probably know what she does, but if you do not, its skill is act rearguard. Put this unit into your soul. Choose 1 of your rearguards and it gets 2k power until the end of it. Also, then if your soul has 7 or more cards, choose. Your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards from their hand to Guardian Circle for the battle to the end of this turn. Meaning you can just give 2k to a unit, make sure, basically it's just like, in a sense, a Sentinel Denial, and make your opponent drop triggers, or intercept, because it does only say from hand, so you can intercept. So it's there, but I tend not to really use a skill, it's just there as a booster. Next, for the time being, because I'm debating whether or not to keep him in, is 4 copies of Brainwash Swirler. Now, unfortunately, because Brainwash is so expensive, and obviously we have to wait till set 9 for reprints, I only have proxies. But by now, we probably all know what Brainwash does. When this is in place with rearguard, Soul Charge 1. Then, when your card is put into your soul by a Soul Charge, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5k power and stacks. So, in a sense, play this Soul Charge 1 on your grade 3 turn, obviously. Play Pandemonium Tactics. This then becomes 28. This can be a 33 booster and it can stack. So, it's high numbers, but with this deck, the most you'll probably get out of it is making just 1 Soul Charge, so it will be just a 13k. So I might replace him with the new Aerum. It's hit and miss. I'm unsure how I'm going to do that yet. I'm waiting to see what Aram's actual skill does to make a decision. Next, I'm running 4 copies of Inhale Pit, which is mainly shown with the new grade 3 that came out in either 6 or 7, the translator one, that Soul Blast is 6 grade 0s. And then Soul Charge 6, give you 14. So, again, this works because it's manipulating your drop. Soul Blast 1, choose a grade 1 or create a card from... Oh, Soul Blast a grade 1 or greater card, sorry, my bad. Choose 2 grade 0s from your drop and put them into your soul. Setting Unica up again. And all you have to do is Soul Blast a grade 1 or greater. Soul Blast it out, put them into your soul, you are set for Unica. That is pretty much all that card is for, is just to, again, manipulate your drop. Next, I'm also running these proxies are for set 9, Steam Skara Sargon. So, her skill, pardon me, I'm losing my voice a little. When this unit boosts, choose one of the units this boosts, and until the end of turn, it gets auto Vanguard Rearguard Circle. When this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, choose up to 2 cards from your drop and put them into your soul. Again, manipulating your drop to mainly put triggers into your soul to get the effect from Unica to gain power. You always want to make sure with these skills that you're putting cards from drop to soul, you're putting triggers to use Unica skill. And then lastly for the grey ones, 4 Repelled Malice Dragon, the new part PGs, because they're cheaper and easy to get hold of. So we all know what they do. Moving on, triggers. 3 Rouse Wildmaster Riley, the effect draws. 10k shields, or just ride discard fodder. It's what it is and how you get them. That's all there is. And then I am running 4 heal triggers. I would have had a full play set, but I couldn't get a 4th one of the Darth Dolls. So, yeah, typical. Then, for this deck, because our Astroea solely works on crits, I am playing the maximum amount of crits you're legally allowed to play in the game, which is 8. So, yeah, you either want to drive check them, or if you have them in your hand from the start of the game, put them in your drop, ready to set up for Astroea Unica. The more you can keep getting into this, to be honest, once you have 3 binded, you don't really want to keep soul blasting the crits. So try and keep putting your draws and your heals in, or your OT if you've soul charged it. Basically just keep recycling them to keep soul blasting and just rinse and repeat. And then obviously for my over trigger, it is Galmagelg Dark States OT. So here's a little funny story. This happened yesterday. I was playing Astroea and my board was basically, Astroea was the, I had a Clitz Peak, what else did I have? I had a Brainwash, no I didn't. I had Taurin out, Sparta out, within that pit, Inhale Pit, and then I'd used a skill, I had swung at my opponent. My friend said no guard, and I asked her because she was on 4 damage. I said, are you sure you're on 4 damage? This is 2 crit with a triple drive. She goes, yeah, I'll take it. I says, all right then. First check, critical trigger, critical to the Vanguard. I gave Tori the power. She goes, okay. Second check, I ripped the over trigger. But bear in mind, Astroea is now swinging with 3 crits. So with the OT revealed, Click's Peak got the 100 million, and the additional effect propped off. So now Astroea is swinging because it was Persona Rided. I didn't use the skill, 21, fail. 41, 4 crits to the Vanguard. And this is right. And then my final check was another critical trigger. Crit on the Vanguard, power to my Tauren. That meant I'm swinging at 5 crits. And oh my god, we were all speechless. My other friends to the side of me and Jason were just like, hold up, when I ripped the over trigger. I was like, there we go, over trigger. They were like, what's going on? I'm like, right, hold up. That is my second of 3 checks. And then when I revealed my crit, everyone just dropped everything and said, what the heck just happened? So she died before I could even carry on with my team. So it was one hell of a way to finish. So that's pretty much for it for the deck profile, along with obviously all the supports and basically like a good playset of that was a good setup. Obviously with the inhale pit, another good option for a booster would have a brainwash here. Just so if you place it as well, you soul charge, it's a 13k. So it was a good start. Where are you? Come on, where are you? There you are. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know how it works. Now, while you're still here and listen to me go on and on and on, I want to hear you guys' opinion. Would you like to see the new grade 10 Dragon Tree proxied and played? If you do, leave a comment down below if you do. But also, because me and Jason actually haven't decided to go ahead with this yet, why don't you choose for us what nation, except Lyrical, because neither of us have a Lyrical deck, out of the 5 nations of Dragon Empire, Dark States, Keta, Stoicheia, and Brandgate, I want you to choose, because I haven't told Jason this bit, I want you guys to choose, if you want to see Dragon Tree 10 grade 10, what nation do you want us to use? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like. If you want to see more and than liking our content so far, subscribe. It pretty much puts a smile on our faces. We're only doing this just because we love playing Vanguard, and we just thought, if we're doing these proxies, we want to share. So we've pretty much hopped on the bandwagon of following the likes of the major ones like Top Deck Heroes and Freedom Duo. So Freedom Duo, we know, I've watched a few times, but we always, me and Jason specifically, we love watching Top Deck Heroes. We love the banter they have, but we love them, watching them do proxies. And I have a feeling you like watching our doing as well. So comment down below what you want to see. If you want to see Dragon Tree, what nation. I'll leave that to you guys. And hopefully on Tuesday coming up, me and Jason will be doing the Astroea versus Bruce. So keep an eye out, and we'll see you soon. Later.